Welcome, everybody. It's your boy Mo Crosby, and I am here with you to discuss Halo the Series Season 3, episode titled Emergence. Again, as I said, we're here to discuss episode 3 of Halo the Series, a show that I am genuinely falling in love with as the more episodes we get. The reason I can say that is because every time I see something or every time I think I know something of the show surprises me in a different way. And I say that because I thought, like Makee, the child or the human helping the Covenant or helping Mercy and the Covenant would be like a would be somewhat related or somehow tied to Master Chief, but it looks like she's not. The episode definitely opens up with Makee and with Makee or a flashback of Makee in the past. She's on planet Open, a waste planet, a planet where humans deposit their waste, and she is with a friend and she's treated horribly. So what she sees and why she's so willing to help the Covenant is because of how she was raised and what she's seen growing up. And again, I can see that in a sense of where someone who's been treated horribly their whole life, or to the point where they can remember, is being adopted by someone, and then they become this different person with them. They're easily more malleable to someone that shows them kindness. And I want to believe that the Covenant, because of who she is and because of the power she possesses, Mercy has raised her like a child and shown her kindness, so a sort of a kindness, to where she now believes that she is a tool. Like, she's not just, where it looks like she's not just a tool, or she believes she's not just a tool for the Covenant, and she is really like part of them. She's really one of them. I believe as the show goes on that she'll see certain things and her life will change in a certain way. Anyway, but that's her story, and that's what she's going to be doing, and that's how the show opens up. It really shows her in Oben, shows what she was going through, and then while she's going through it, and why she holds that book dear to her heart. It's a book a friend of hers and herself read to kind of help them get away from the troubles that they're going through. And boom, human beings are trash. UNSC, I don't know if it's the UNSC per se, because I know for a fact that I will continue to say the UNSC, Dr. Halsey, yes, are trash. As long as this show goes on, I don't believe there's any point where I'd be looking at them to be redeemed or even any good thing for those characters, for the UNSC and Dr. Halsey. I don't believe that. I do not believe that in any way, shape, or form. So we leave that scene with Makee, and we head to Reach, or yeah, Reach, and we see we get to meet Dr. Makee meeting her Flash clone self, who ends up becoming Cortana. Dr. Makee, I'm sorry, Dr. Halsey, Flash clone self, who ends up becoming Cortana, who asks her, she asks our Dr. Halsey a series of questions that probably you would understand why cloning is illegal, or why the UNSC said Flash cloning is illegal, because excuse me, you thought in your younger age, right, that, and you sat down and you thought, if you saw yourself, which is me or myself, how this would make you feel. Dr. Halsey doesn't shake. She's like, yeah, progress, I guess. She strongly believes that whatever she's doing for the greater good. And sometimes that can be very trash. In Dr. Halsey's case, it is very trash, because what is the purpose of cloning a human being for the, if you're going to say for the advancements of science and your soldiers, your Spartans, to create Cortana, or if you're cloning a human being to create, to harvest organs for yourself? Don't you see how trash that is? Like, there's no excusable way, there's no redeemable way to do it, in my opinion. And so I just 100% think Halsey is trash. End of story. But yeah, she tells her, that this is exactly why you were made, and this is what you're going to be used for. um Clone Dr. Halsey asks our Dr. Halsey a question about her daughter, and she pauses. I've seen a lot of people have a problem. Excuse me. I've seen a lot of people have a problem with the show and the fact that Halsey's daughter is biological. But in that scene, and the fact that Halsey chooses not to answer that question and redirect, I think we might go into the actual lore and find out, or of the show and find out Halsey's daughter is in fact not in fact, she's not a biological daughter. She might be a clone, because again, the lore of Halo is that the 72 kids that were abducted, because she did ask about the 72 kids, and she told her over half died, and she's like, that's more than we projected. Again, trash, but she does that. And so we see that the 72 kids, out of the 72 kids, and what she did was replace the 72 kids with clone versions of themselves who end up dying. I believe they put defects in those kids to have those kids die. That way, it removes the questions that can be asked about where they come from, or just removes the questions and makes it a little more ethical, right? Um, so she tells her all of that, and she, again, when she asks her the question about her daughter, she redirects. And I think that is going to come back later into play, and we're going to find out that, again, that part of it is going to go and stick to actual Halo lore, where her daughter is not, in fact, biological and is a clone. um, the next thing I want to talk about, obviously, is John, Master Chief, who before he's cleared for active duty, has to go through this process of letting Cortana in and meeting Cortana. And they show the scene of Cortana being developed, and they show how horrific it is, again, because you have to go in. I mean, the scene was beautiful, it was gorgeous to look at, but it was horrific because you needle the eyes, and you get into the brain, the front of the brain, I think the frontal lobe, and you literally extract something from it. It's blood everywhere. um I think even not Dr. Halsey asks, will this hurt? To which the lab assistant goes, yes, very much. This is gonna make your body go still, though, so you're not gonna you are gonna feel it, right? And the worst part is, she feels everything. They don't even take the pain away. Like, how? Because I'm guessing all of that needs to be absorbed. All of that, the pain reception, all of that needs to be absorbed into whatever they're gonna make. Whatever disc they're gonna put that into, create Cortana. And I was shocked. I thought it was gonna be like a seamless process. Like just a lift a brain. I didn't think it was gonna be like that, but they really showed that to us, and I was like, this is crazy. This solidifies my calling Dr. Halsey and the UNSC trash. Speaking of Dr. Halsey's daughter, she is also investigating the artifact. She's excited. I think I forget her name. I will remember her name, I promise, on the next episode that we do. But yes, the lady tells her, I'm creating a parallel team to investigate the artifact. And it's crazy. She's excited. She's like, does Halsey know? Well, Halsey doesn't know, and she can't know, because if she does know, you won't have this anymore. My thought process in the moment was, of course she doesn't know. That is bullshit. She's Dr. Halsey. She definitely has to know. Fast forward to a few scenes later, she's talking to her dad, and she's like, well, I have I have so much work to do because I lost some files. And dad was like, what files? And she goes, I was working on the artifact as well, like a parallel thing. And dad goes, and then I was like, of course, Dr. Halsey knows it all. But also, because of what goes on in the episode, she will be able to get back to it. So let me not rush to it. So we get through that, we get through all of that for John. They shut him down. The process of extracting the brain from not Dr. Halsey has been done. It's put onto a disc that's now inserted into John's sub. I'm not gonna say it. It's inserted into John's brain, and that's just how Cortana is inserted into his brain. He wakes up. We meet Cortana before he does. Halsey tries to tell Cortana that some of her parameters have been limited due to the fact that she doesn't want her to be super invasive at first. It's something that we're going to ease John into, and so we don't want, we want him to still be able to have, some type of say so in this, even though eventually you're going to take over and he's going to become a robot, and boom, that's it. Cortana obviously doesn't like the idea because she follows a prime directive. She is an AI, so she's going to follow prime directive, which I think is awesome that they do that. Even Cortana and Halsey in the initial butt heads, I thought that was really awesome. Only for when John wakes up for them to even butt heads a lot more, and John doesn't like the idea. He's protested at every point. He never liked the idea. He didn't like it at all, and I think it's something we'll revisit later on. I think the episode takes a very interesting turn when we get back to the rubble. Kwan is now fully back in rebellion mode. I think the shock and everything is kind of worn off, and she's fully back in rebellion mode. She wants to go back to Madrigal to join the rebellion and kick Vischer out. Like get him out. She pleads with Soren 066 to help her at first. And Soren is very reluctant to help. He's very, very reluctant. He doesn't want to help at all. Until she goes, I can pay you. When she says I can pay you, and she's like, not just, I can pay you. And I think she mentions a material, or excuse me, a material that Soren, because he's a pirate, and we see in the beginning that not just that he's a pirate, he deals, the rubble is pretty much a central hub for like pirates and pirate dealers and all of the sorts. And there's chickens from Earth, and so it's something that's super important. He's like, as long as you can get it to me, I'll help you. But if you can't pay, I'm gonna turn you to the UNSC and I'm gonna get the bounty on your head. While all of this is happening on the rubble and on the rubble and back on Reach, in the base, the other Spartans are trying, they're kind of like just there in the background. But I believe, I forget her name. I wanted to call her the blonde one. She's super close to Master Chief. And I believe, while everyone is very like, Halsey's boss, right? Halsey's mom. I feel she might be the only outcast. She might be the one who is possibly Kai 125. I believe she's probably the one who's connected with someone else, some other person on the UNSC that she runs back and tells information to. I don't think she is 100% on board with the Halsey. Halsey's our guy. Even because at one point Master Chief goes, hey, I need to remove one of my pallets, because if you go back to the second episode, Soren 066 tells Master Chief, if you took out some of the pallets in your spine, you'd be able to feel more. And Master Chief goes, is trying to explain what he saw in his visions when he touched the artifact to Cortana. That happened. And Cortana's like, I can't really feel them. I can't get anything from your feelings, but if you can't explain it to me, maybe I'll be able to understand it. I think this is a very emotional episode, and this is a very emotional moment. And this is also a moment that builds trust between Cortana and Master Chief. Even though the worst part of it is Halsey is still in this. Halsey tells Cortana to help Master Chief so that she can appear to be more friend than spy than foe, as he thinks she is. And she helps him remove the pallet. Once he gets rid of the pallet, he starts to feel things different. He starts to get a rush of emotions. He goes out to the park. He's feeling the music. He sees a dog, and from his visions, he remembers he had a dog. He runs back to the base camp, and he grabs onto the artifact, and he sees a lot more this time than he's seen before. Because again, I believe being able to feel what you're seeing helps you. Being able to connect with your emotions and feel what you're seeing is definitely going to help you. I believe is going to help him, try to decipher what he's seeing. So he does that, and in doing that, he opens up a lot more of his memories. He sees some other things that he wouldn't have seen if he didn't, make that move, if he didn't pull it. And I believe in that moment, Cortana understands that she's kind of understanding, or kind of, I believe, trying, connecting with Master Chief a lot more. She still has a reservation. She's still the AI that believes in her objectives, her directives, and all that stuff. But I think subtle moments like that are key for the characters, especially Cortana and Master Chief. They have a relationship, and it's really solid. And we're gonna see a lot more of them as the show goes on. And I believe that's gonna, it's gonna help. It's, things like that help. Um, somewhere out in space, um, a UNSC frigate, not frigate, a UNSC destroyer comes in contact with a Covenant corvette. Um, a voice, the Corvette hails the UNSC destroyer, happens to be human. I need your help. Please help me. And it's Makee that's on the vessel. She comes onto the UNSC vessel, and appears very innocent and very chill, but she fucks everything up. She kills everyone. She sends these snakes, which I haven't seen in any of the Halo games. I might not be sure, because there's a lot of games that I haven't played in a while, but I haven't seen those snakes. They were called crabs or whatever. I would have thought she would have sent, something else, but whatever. She sends them to attack the destroyer. Everyone is pretty much killed. She saves the captain and asks the captain, "Hey, I need you to tell me where my key is. I need you to tell me where you took it to." Captain refuses to tell. Nothing on the ship helps her. She kills the captain. She tries to hack the ship. It doesn't happen. She gets nothing, and she continues on a mission to Madrigal, because that's what she tells Mercy. She's like, "I'm gonna go to Madrigal, where the key was found, and I'm gonna start there, and I'm gonna work, outwards to where I think it could be." What are you doing? To where I think it could be. And I believe that is a solid plan. But what I also believe is Mercy at this point, this is her first contact with humans since she left Oban, if I'm led to believe so. Um, and I think this is the time. Not Mercy, Makee is. This is the first time she's seen humans. What I truly believe is that her character is going to be open to a lot of things, and I think she might doubt some of the teachings as the series goes. I think she might doubt some of the teachings, and she might doubt some of the things that she's learned from Mercy and the Covenant. I think that's really important to watch. I think those things are really important to pay attention to, and look at as the show goes on. The only what am I missing? Anything else? Yes. So Master Chief accesses more of his memories, and then he tells it to Dr. Halsey. "Hey, look, there's this planet with ice rings on it that you can see from the planet. What's up with the planet? My parents were on there. Who are they?" Like, and she's like, "Well, your parents were." Cortana tells her that planet was officially, part of the Reach program, where scientists were settled, and they were asked to open up, to open the planet up, and kind of like make the planet habitable, and all of that stuff. But a plague came, killed everybody on it. But somehow you escaped, and then somehow there was a quarantine, and we couldn't let some people escape. It was a weird, unbelievable story to me, and I think this is when the lab assistant, or Halsey's lab assistant, tells Halsey, "Hey, look, the more he's digging, the more he'll find out. What are we gonna do if he finds out?" And Halsey goes, "Well, if he does, it'll bring. I think he also says if he does, whatever he finds out will bring us down." Halsey's like, "Man, you think I'm worried about that? I got Cortana here, and Cortana's gonna seal all of that up," which again makes her trash. 1, 2, UNSC's trash. That's my takeaway from every Halo episode that I've seen so far. Again, I really enjoyed the show. I enjoy mostly what I enjoy is the world building. I think I'm not as offended with them deviating from lore as I should be. I don't know if I care enough. When you watch this show, when you watch my review and my breakdown of the episodes, you are not watching someone who is saying this is what Halo should be because of the games I've played and other media that I've probably consumed. No, you're watching someone who's watching this show as a show that you're watching someone who's watching the show as a show, period. I'm not looking for anything to connect from the game to this. Things have connected from the game to this, and that's it. And it's, again, this is something that they're doing, this new thing that they're trying, and I love it. It's a different timeline. I am enjoying everything. Down in the comment section below, let me know if I'm wrong for enjoying it as is. Let me know if it's something that you are enjoying as well. If it's something that you're enjoying, are you going to go on this journey weekly with me? Let's do it. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, come back for more next week. Peace.
You've seen it too. Now come on. And you fought. Yes. And you won? Not yet.
John and the other Spartans will operate as designed and will bring us the weapon that wins this war. The people rely on you to protect them, to make them feel safe.
What does one do with a superhuman you're not sure you can trust?
You think she cares about you? Open your eyes.
We've been fighting together since we were kids, Chief. Whatever you do, we trust you.
Master Chief, I'm here for you.
You felt it, didn't you? It's the end of life as we know it.
I've seen what Covenant weapons are capable of. The entire planet turned to glass.
We don't all join together. I don't know how we're gonna stop them.
You want revenge? I want justice.
Spartans, keep on killing.
Come to daddy.
You're okay with this?
Sometimes you have to make hard choices.
What's the point in saving humanity? We're gonna give up our own.
Silver King, on me.
This is the end of everything. Let's ensure that all of these sacrifices have not been in vain. Finish what we started.
There will be reckoning.